It's me.
Hi, hello, and welcome back. I have never done a TBR. I don't normally have TBRs, but you know what? It is the 31st of August, 2024, and I decided, you know what? I might as well have a TBR. I'm going to make myself a TBR, and why not film it? It's such a short intro. I don't know what else to say. Welcome to my September TBR. I've never done a TBR before. I should be wearing where are my glasses? Oh, there they are. I was wondering why everything was blurry, and then I realised I wasn't wearing my glasses. I am filming in front of the window because it's actually nice and bright outside. So I do want to be outside though because it is nice and sunny, but it's also quite windy. And that's quite overstimulating. So hang on, I gotta let my dog in. Okay, my dog has joined us. You can't see him. Hang on. Arlo has come to join us today. Everyone say hello to Arlo. Hello, Arlo. Hello, doodles. You're a good boy. I put him. I think he just. Yeah, I put him in sky jail. By accident. But he's okay now because I think he realised he didn't do anything wrong. He loves this toy. It's adorable. Let's get into the video then. My September TBR. I have a bunch of books that have been on my TBR. Some of them I have read before, so they'll be rereads. But I haven't read them since I was 8 or 10 years old. It's been roughly 10 years since I've read at least 2 of these books. Anyway, the first book I want to read is The World of Jeeves by P.G. Wodehouse because I'm obsessed with GV. This is like a Jeeves and Wooster omnibus book because I'm obsessed with Jeeves and Woosters. And Woosters? Jesus Christ. So there's 2 Jeeves and Woosters. You know what? Let's go with it. There's 2 Jeeves and Wooster books on the TBR for this month. There's The World of Jeeves, which is the Jeeves and Wooster omnibus thing. I have already started it. Yeah, I'm like this far in. I've already started it, but I'm literally like 20 pages in. Well, 24 pages in. So, and I don't foresee myself reading it in its entirety today because, let's face it, my dog's going to want to play and it's already noon today. So, first book, World of Jeeves. It's just like, it's an omnibus of, I'm assuming, the short stories because it's got 34 out of the 35. Yeah, it's got 34 short stories. And I'm assuming it's 34 out of the 35. But yeah, I'm assuming it's all of the short stories because there are 34 stories in this. Anyway, The World of Jeeves. And then we have Jonathan Strange and Mr. Norrell. As you can see, I've started rereading this one as well. This is one of the books that I read before when I was younger. I read this one when I was 10. And it's a mammoth of a book. I have it in hardback, but I got the paperback last summer because I really wanted the TV tie-in cover. And also this book is like kind of a wee bit floppy. I really wanted the TV tie-in cover. I do have it in hardback. Hang on, I have the hardback with the original cover. And I got it in... my mum got it for me. Was it my mum? Yeah, it was my mum. Got it for me in October of 2015. So I've had it for nearly 9 years. And this October, I've had it for like 9 years. And she wrote on the inside of it. That's like a little reference to the book slash TV show. And she also got it signed by the guy that played Jonathan Strange. I did not know this until Christmas because it was look that far in. I think I was rereading it and I got that far in. Basically, when I was obsessed with this book and TV show as a kid, and I still am. Also, the paperback is so much smaller. Look, it's so much diddier. I think the words are smaller in this one though. Oh no, the words are smaller in this one. Okay. I was obsessed with the TV show and the book as a kid. So my mum nicked my copy. It's very well loved. I took it to school. It's very well loved. She nicked it. She was seeing him in a play. So she nicked my copy of Jonathan Strange and Mr. Norrell, knowing that I'd be confused as to where it was, but I had conveniently left it in the living room one day. So I'd been reading it in the living room, like da-da-da-da, right? conveniently left it in the living room, so it was easy for her to nick it. So she took it to the play with her, and I remember I went looking for it, I think, the next day or a couple days later, and I couldn't find it. And my dad didn't know where it was, my brothers didn't know where it was. My mum wasn't there because she'd left for the show. So I couldn't ask my mum where it was, but she had it, and I'm assuming my dad knew. And it was missing for about a month, maybe 2. And I was like, you know what? Maybe it'll show up somewhere. It has to show up somewhere. Because at the time we were living in quite a small house, so I was like, it's gonna be somewhere. Like, it's gonna show up somewhere. I know it will. Lo and behold, Christmas of that year, my parents were like, look behind the tree. So I was like, okay, look behind the Christmas tree. Lo and behold, this was behind the Christmas tree. Stop it. Lo and behold, this was behind the Christmas tree, right? She had gotten it signed by the guy, and I was like, this is amazing. This is amazing. So this is possibly one of the greatest things I ever own. I absolutely adore Jonathan Strange and Mr. Norrell. It's a mammoth of a book. Absolute mammoth of a book. But I read it when I was like 10 years old, and it's been... Hi, hello! It's been nearly 10 years since I last read it. And I have the paperback, and I really want to read the paperback. I'm going to reread Jonathan Strange and Mr. Norrell. I'm going to annotate this one too, as you can see. Oh, I hadn't realised Neil Gaiman had put the thing at the back of the hardback. Oh, but oh my god! And it's on the front cover of this one too. But it is such a good spooky book. Next we have Devil Dogs. Basically, this one is about it's a non-fiction book about the 1st Marine Division. It's a specific part of the 1st Marine Division, though I can't quite remember. Hang on. Yes, the K Company 3rd Battalion 5th Marines of the legendary 1st Marine Division, or the Old Breed. They were tasked to do something extraordinary, take on the victorious Imperial Japanese Army with some of the most effective soldiers in the world history and defeat it. This is the story of how they did it and of the bonds of brotherhood forged in battle that still survive today. I love reading about like the Marines and the RAF and the military and the Navy and all of that. I think it's so fascinating. So we have this, Devil Dogs. I also found it in Waterstones, and I was like, that sounds fascinating. And it has pictures. That's not why I bought it. I love when non-fiction books include pictures. I think it's I think it really adds. And then we have The Priory of the Orange Tree. I have a bookmark in there already. It's literally on the first page, because I've been meaning to read this book for months now. I got it last summer, and I've been meaning to literally read this for months because I know it's so popular. I think last year and the year before. I also love fantasy. I love fantasy. So I am been meaning to read this for a really long time. I actually, not gonna lie, don't know what it's about. But I love going into books not knowing what they're about. So we have The Priory of the Orange Tree. Also, I pre-ordered the paperback edition of A Day, a Fallen Night, and it arrived earlier this year. I think it arrived in January. Okay, so there is no indication as to what this is about, literally anywhere on the book. But it literally says, a world divided, a queendom without an heir, and an ancient enemy awakens. And on this one, Mother, we are your daughters, we remember, we remain. I don't know what either of these are about, but I think they're meant to be together. I think they're part of like a little duology, so I'm going to read these two. We have Much Obliged to You. I've had this book for I think about a year and a half, and I've been trying to read it for ages because I'm obsessed with Jeeves and Wooster. I keep going to read it, and then something comes up, and I, for some reason, just don't find myself picking it up. And I love that it looks like it's got like covered in like tea stains and coffee. I think that's really cute. But again, I love Jeeves and Wooster. I'm going to read Much Obliged, Jeeves. I just love P.G. Wodehouse, I think. We have Moby Dick. Moby Dick, because I don't think I've ever actually read Moby Dick. I'm not 100% sure what Moby Dick is about, but it's referred to a lot in modern media. But with Moby Dick, which I think, it's the story of Captain Ahab's quest to avenge the whale that reaped his leg, the quest and his obsession, and the novel is a diabolical study of how a man becomes a fanatic. So it's kind of like Captain Hook and the Crocodile, although I think Captain Hook and the Crocodile, I get the impression Captain Hook and the Crocodile was perhaps based off of Moby Dick. Anyway, I'm excited to read this one too. Oh, and we have the Odyssey as well. Anyway, I have the Odyssey by Homer. Again, this is another book that I have a different copy in hardback. I have it in this one as well, which I think is really pretty. I also have the Iliad and the Last Days of Socrates in this style. They look really fancy and old. But yes, no, I really like them, and I think they look very Jonathan Strange and Mr. Norrell-esque. So I quite like them, and I think they look really nice. And I'm obsessed with like spines like this and covers like this. I'm obsessed with them. So I have the Odyssey, the Iliad, and the Last Days of Socrates, which is 2 Homers and a Plato. So I have these, but I also have the paperback. Next one is Arrowwood by Mick Finley. I think this one, I don't massively know what this one's about either, but it looks like it's a kind of like Sherlock Holmes-esque book. It's like the universe of Sherlock Holmes. Obviously this is not by the guy who wrote, this is not by Arthur Conan Doyle, by Mick Finley. A London society takes its problems to Sherlock Holmes, everyone else goes to Arrowwood. So he's basically Arrowwood as Sherlock Holmes for the poor, I'm guessing. It's the impression I'm getting. Anyway, that's the book I'm going to read this month. I also want to read Talking as Fast as I Can again. And I started it a little while ago and I got like 37 pages in. Yeah, I got really busy with my A-levels and unfortunately I didn't have the time that I wanted to dedicate to this book. But yeah, I got this far in and I remember really, I was having a great time, but I didn't want to kind of half-ass reading this book because I love Lauren Graham and I love Gilmore Girls. Obviously I love Gilmore Girls and I adore Lauren Graham, so I wanted to really dedicate time to this book. I didn't want to kind of just pick it up and read a couple of sentences here or a couple of sentences there. I really wanted to be able to sit down and devour this book and kind of marinate in it. So I unfortunately had to put it on pause. But yes, no, I want to get back to Talking as Fast as I Can because I was really enjoying it and I love Lauren Graham and I love Gilmore Girls. Next we have Wonder by R.J. Palicchio. Sorry, I apologise if I'm saying that wrong. But yes, this is another book that I read when I was little. This is the other book that I read when I was a really young kid. I read this book when I was 8 years old and I remember devouring it in one sitting. It wasn't fully one sitting because I know the day that I read it, my family ended up leaving the house and obviously I had to go with them because I was 8 years old. I remember we walked to the park that was outside the back of our house and I was following them, devouring this book. I think there's actually photos of that day and any photo from that day. No, this is the edition that I had when I was little, but not the exact book that I had at the time because I think that book got lost when we moved. So I ended up buying a new copy of it because I really liked it and I really wanted to reread it because I remember devouring this book in 2 hours. when I was like 8 years old. And I really wanted to reread it because it's so reminiscent of like the age I was like 11 years ago. 11 years ago? Yeah, 11 years ago. I'm 19 now. And the movie came out, I think like 6 years ago. And I watched the movie and I loved the movie. I think it really did the book justice. I think it was so sweet, so cute. And when the movie came out, it really reignited me wanting to reread this book. And obviously I watched the movie when it came out. It's been about, I want to say roughly 6 years since it came out. But yes, so I'm going to reread Wanda this term, in September, because I love these characters and I've really missed them. I really recommend reading the book and watching the movie. So I want to reread this book this September because I haven't read it since I was like 8 years old and I have wanted to be rereading it for years and years. So the next book I want to read in September is The Night Circus by Erin Morgenstern. I can't believe I haven't read this book yet. I only got my copy last year, but I've wanted to read it for, oh god, like years now. I've wanted to read it for the last like, god, maybe 7 or 8 years. Yeah, it was first published in 2012. And I know my mum was reading it when I was about 10 or 11, and she had ironically the same cover. And I've wanted to read it for ages, and then it got really popular on the internet recently. So I finally have my own copy as of like last year. And again, I've wanted to read it for ages, so I'm hoping to get round to it in September. It's about a circus that arrives without any warning. There's like no announcements made, and it just simply shows up. Like one day it's just not there, and then it'll show up. So I'm really excited for this because I've heard really good things about it. So I'm hoping to get around to this in September. And I have 2 from a series that I've already started. Basically, was it August? Yeah, I think it was early August I read The Cruel Prince by Holly Black. I bought the box set, basically I bought the box set for it because it was £15 in the works. So I was like, you know what, that's a deal. But basically in September I'm hoping to read The Wicked King and The Queen of Nothing because I read The Cruel Prince in early August. Yes, and I want to read The Wicked King and The Queen of Nothing because I have heard that this trilogy does get better the more you read it. Wicked Prince, Wicked King and The Queen of Nothing in September, just to finish that trilogy because I did have fun. I had fun with The Cruel Prince for most of it. I think I rated it like 3 stars because I was like, it was close to being 4 or 5 stars, and then it was just so much happened in the last maybe quarter that just the last like quarter to a third, so much happened in that just ruined the book for me. I'll probably end up making a whole video about the Cruel Prince trilogy, the Folk of the Air trilogy. Anyway, so I want to read Wicked King, Queen of Nothing in September. We also have Ninth House again. Ninth House by Leigh Bardugo. Another one I don't really know a lot about, but I know it's dark academia, and I really like dark academia. So, A Tale of Power, Privilege and Dark Magic, Ninth House is Leigh Bardugo's too. So, I'm really excited to get to this book because I've heard good things about the plot. I don't know what the plot is about, but I've heard good things about it. So I want to get to this. And in the same vein, I want to get to Six of Crows and Crooked Kingdom by Leigh Bardugo. This little like, is it the Grishaverse duology? I actually don't know. But I want to get to this little duology because, again, I bought it about the same time I bought Ninth House. I've had them for round about a little over a year now, and I've been wanting to read them for ages. I'm like kind of glancing at bookshelves and I'm like, there are a few other books I'd like to read this month, but I feel like if I'm like, yes, these are the books, all of these books I'm going to read. I already have a lot of books that I want to read for the month of September, so if I add any more to them, I'm probably not going to read any of them, but yes, for the time being, that is all that I want to read in the month of September. There are so many books. So that is all that I want to try and read in the month of September. It is a massive TBR, but I am behind on my Goodreads goal. I think I'm literally like 3 books behind though. But I'm in a very big reading mood at the moment. I've been in a massive reading book mood for a while, but because I have a dog that is very needy, which I'm not complaining about necessarily because he is very, very cute. Like, look at him. Look at this little chap. Look at this little guy. He is possibly the sweetest looking little guy. I love him. I'm very lucky to have him. But hi, thanks. Basically if I sit down to read, I can't read more than like 2 short sentences before he needs my attention to play, and he needs my full-fledged attention. Even if I sit down at like 10 or 11 PM, he's like, oh, suddenly I need to play, and I'm like, dude, your bedtime's 10:30 at night, go to bed. So, that is... I feel like I probably made a mistake because there are so many books in this TBR. 1 second. Like, oh no! Okay, so I'm about to drop them. I was about to drop one of them. That could have ended in a disaster. So I did drop them. Maybe post it tomorrow. Tomorrow's Sunday. I don't normally post on Sundays. For some reason, I always post on Thursdays. That happened by accident because I finally got round to editing the A Little Life vlog. I filmed that over the course of the end of May, early June, right? So that was all filmed by like the 2nd week of June, I think. I had done that by like the 2nd week of June. I had it all filmed, and then I didn't get it edited until beginning of August. So all the clips were sat on my phone for like 2 or 3 months before I ever edited it. And then I uploaded it on a Thursday. Because it was just a random Thursday. I sat down and was like, you know what, I'm going to edit this. And then I uploaded it, and then I was kind of like, well, now I need to like have the consistency. But I will probably edit this and put it up tomorrow, because tomorrow is the 1st of September. Thanks for watching. I hope you enjoyed. Let me know about any of the book, if you have read any of the books on my TBR, if you have read any of them. These two just happen to be right beside, these two happen to be in reaching distance. Let me know if you have read any of the books on my September TBR, and if you have read them, let me know what you thought of them. Thanks for watching. I hope you enjoyed. Let me know what you think down below. And I'll see you in my next video. Thank you, bye! I wanna be my dream girl, doing